Hi, this is Jay Collier from the Photography Workshop Co. We're down here on the awesome Great Ocean Road, and I'm here today to tell you about the Haida M10 Mark II filter system. I'm an official ambassador with Haida here in Australia, and the M10 Series II came out just a few months ago. What you'll see is there's been some changes and updates to the holder. Now the holder has a push-in pin rather than a pull-out pin, making it easier for one-handed attachment, and it also has a lock on the back for rotation. So it's just a simple case of taking an adapter ring to the size of the lens that you need, affixing that to the front of your camera. Once your adapter ring is attached to your lens, it's a simple case then of just pushing in the red pin on the side, and you're ready to go. Now the Haida M10 Series II also has a drop-in polarizing filter. So it's a simple case, just dropping that straight into your lens and polarization here at the top. In my filter pouch, I will actually have a range of filters from 3, 4, 6, 10 and up to 15 stops. This covers different scenarios where you may be in lower light or brighter light, where you may need something like a 10 stop or a 15 stop filter in order to shoot for multiple minutes or up to even 15 or 20 minutes if you needed to. So in a situation like this at sunset, I would reach for probably a 3-stop filter. You don't need terribly long exposures when you're shooting coastal landscapes in particular. The variation between using anywhere from half a second to 1 second, or 2.5 to 5 seconds, or 5 seconds to 15 and so on up to 30 seconds, you'll see a dramatic difference in contrast, motion and color, and detail for that matter, that's captured inside the water and the waves as well. It's very important when you're doing long exposure landscapes to vary your shutter speeds to vary the results. There's nothing worse than coming home and having all of your images looking exactly the same, or realizing that all of the water's smoothed out looking like a frost or fog, rather than having lines of contrast and color and shape showing the chaos and energy and motion of the waves. The filter holder comes standard with 2 spaces to accommodate 2 filters. So using either a solid ND or a grad, which I'll have out for you in one moment, you always want to ensure that you slide your solid ND into the first slot first, and ensuring that the lightproof seal at the top and bottom, that there's no gaps. It's very evident if you haven't put this in properly is that you will see flare that will come through your image if there is a gap at either the top or the bottom. Also in my pouch I have a 3-stop soft grad. This is particularly useful in a situation like this where you may have a brighter sky than you do your landscape. An ND grad is used to reduce the exposure of the sky, to bring the exposure down to somewhat better match the exposure you have on your land. So again, inside of your filter holder you have 2 more fins here in the front. Simply slide it in, look at the LCD screen, bring it down until it hits the horizon, and you're good to go. If you're photographing with long exposures, if you're shooting within 30 seconds, you can simply use the camera's light meter and LCD on your screen to see a correct exposure. All you would do then is shoot for 30 seconds, either using a cable release or a 2-second self-timer, and allow that 30-second duration, or up to 30 seconds. As we discussed earlier, you may not shoot terribly long exposures when shooting coastal landscapes, versus a situation like architectural photography, where you may want several minutes to have a still building and long streaking clouds, or for that matter, you could have landscapes in central locations where there is no running water. Your choice of a long exposure all determines what stop range of filter you will reach for. In a scenario like we have right now, once the sun is gone, you may not need to use your circular polarizing filter. A circular polarizer is really handy at broadening and enriching your color, taking highlights and harsh reflections out of your shots, whether that be through water, reflections off sand, or the wet sand for that matter. Earlier on we had a rainbow. Using the polarizer and turning the wheel, you will see the rainbow phase in and out, being broader in color and fading away. Now in a situation like now where you don't need your circular polarizer, it's a simple case of just pinching the 2 tabs at the top, removing it, and replacing it with a light-proof barrier. This one has nothing inside, there's no glass. It's literally there as a light-proof barrier to stop any light leaks. Now, if you're photographing beyond 30 seconds, you'll need an app. You can go onto the Haida website to download their app. Inside the Haida long exposure app, you'll see a range of filter stops. All you will do is select the filter stop range of the filter that you currently have in. To calculate your long exposures, all you will do is remove the whole filter holder from your lens, calculate the ambient exposure until correct, remember the shutter speed. Inside your app, set the stop range of filter you're using, the shutter speed of a correct exposure without the filter attached, then reattach your filter, and inside the app it will tell you how long to shoot with the filter attached. So to join one of our workshops, be sure to go to our website, thephotographyworkshopco.com, where each guest that attends one of our long exposure workshops receives a complete Haida M10 filter system. Inside this pouch, you will receive the holder, the drop-in polarizer, a 6-stop, 10-stop, 15-stop ND, along with your 3-stop soft grad. These kits are yours to use for the entire duration of this workshop, whether it be anywhere in Australia where we run the workshops or overseas. So if these things interest you, be sure to check our website, thephotographyworkshopco.com. I hope to see you out in the field with cameras and Haida filters in hand. Thanks for your attention and enjoy.